blessings, Father. Thank you, Lord God, because you've already given us all the blessings, Father. And we thank you this morning. In Jesus' name we pray. Gracious Father, thank you. Once again, my friends, sometimes I need you to remember this. We're going to rehearse it all week. Sometimes we are so busy adding up our troubles that we forget to count our blessings. How many troubles are you adding up? Are you counting your troubles, talking about this is happening and that is happening? And remember the other day, the other thing is happening, and you're crying on people's shoulders about all the trouble that you're in, but you're forgetting to count your blessings. Are you forgetting to count your blessings? Are you forgetting that we serve a God, that he said his mercies are new every morning? So those troubles that you are going through, my friend, this too shall pass. I know right now you might feel like, but William, you don't understand what I'm going through. You don't understand what's going on. No, I don't, but I know. I know the one who does. I know the one who does understand. I know the one who went to that cross for you and me, that we might know that we can come to Jesus and cast all of our cares on him. So instead of counting all those troubles, count your many blessings. Look and see what God has done. Didn't he help you to pay rent? Didn't he pay your rent for you? Don't you have a place to live? Don't you have food? Don't you have clothing? Don't you have a car? Don't you have something? Can you think of one blessing that God has done? Can you think of all the times that you could have been out of here, but God saved you? The doctor told you that the cancer was going to kill you, but then again, Jesus said, not yet, not now. Do you remember when you got sick and you didn't know how you was going to make it, and you prayed and you cried out to God? Don't you remember that you were prayed for? You asked for prayer, and your friends and family and loved ones began to lift up you in prayer. And don't you remember how God came through? Oh my God, don't you remember? So stop counting your troubles and start counting your blessings. Psalm 77, 11 and 12 says, I will remember the works of the Lord. Surely I will remember thy wonders of old. I will meditate also of all thy work and talk on thy doing. Talk about what the Lord has done. Don't talk about what the enemy is doing. Don't talk about the negative stuff. Even though your faith may be weak, even though you might be holding on by a thread, but if you reach beyond the break and hold on, if you start calling on the Lord right now, if you start saying, Lord, I can't, but you can. If you'll just say, Lord, help me. Lord, I need you. I need thee every day, every hour. If you'll call on him, he'll answer. Stop counting your troubles and start counting your blessings. Stop looking at what the enemy is doing and look at what God has already secured through his son, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, what a mighty God we serve. Remember, there's a way out of your mess, and it's JESUS.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Rome, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 866 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
Well, my friends and neighbors, boys and girls, moms and dads, you know how this works. It's simple. It's easy. It's as simple as dialing the numbers on the phone, 865-457-1380 or 877-711-4005. Hello, Jerry. Mr. Jerry White just came in here. I think he brought me some money. He brought me something. 865-457-1380, 877-711-4005. If you'd like to join us, we'd like to have you. Okie dokie, Smokey. I'll give you a few moments to gather your thoughts. Did you guys get a chance to listen to the Tuesday night sports talk program last night? I hope so. It was good. OEB, Tim Elrod, sponsoring the Tuesday night sports talk. Jasper, Walt, James David, Coach was up here. And next week on Trivia, I'm going to do this for Jasper. Next week on Trivia, it's going to be big. Tune in, because we're going to give away a pair of tickets to Bristol Motor Speedway. For the September race. All right, guys, I'm going to give you about 2 minutes. You can call in with whatever's on your mind. You can talk about anything, ask about anything. The whole idea is to ask your neighbor any questions that you might have, anything that might be on your mind. And we'll get you on there. All right, we're back with you. Next.
Did you know that a lot of contractors are hiring people from out of town with no guarantee of their qualifications? Are you tired of going through temp services and getting unskilled labor? Keep jobs local and keep money in-state. Partner with Local 102 for all your mechanical job needs. Skilled labor that's always improving with state-of-the-art training. Let Local 102 be the job source for the best in plumbing, pipe fitting, welding, and HVAC. Visit ualocal102.org to learn more about Local 102. Your goals equal our goals.
Okie dokie, Smokey. Let's see here. Let's go to the phones. My headphones keep cutting out on me. All right, let's go to the phones here this morning. Hey, good morning. Welcome to Ask Your Neighbor on WYSH.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Yeah, the person be allowed to vote for whoever he wants to instead of having to vote party-wise?
That's a big question. Yeah, yes, I think so.
John Reagan has contested this under really nothing, right?
Well, here's what John is asserting, that Democrats crossed over into the Republican primary, which, by the way, this is relatively new, but it's factual, is against the law. If you're a registered Democrat, you're not supposed to be able to vote in the Republican primary.
Well, that tells me that I'm not allowed to vote for who I want to.
Well, I tend to agree with you.
Yeah. That was the only question I had. I mean, you know. Well,
look, it's a free country. I think we vote for who we want to. Let's see what happens. Let's see who they charge for demonstrating democracy and voting. I want to see who we're going to put in jail for voting for the wrong person.
I want to see how it ends up.
Yeah, let's see how that happens. John Reagan is mad because he thought after years and years and years of ignoring us, he was going to win.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a Republican. I'm a staunch conservative Republican. Everybody that listens to me knows that I'm a Republican. For the most part, John and I agreed on policy. But John's problem was, and he said it on the radio. I didn't say it. I'm not making it up. He said it. I've got it recorded. I can play it over, and I will play it over and over and over and over and over when this all comes to bear, if indeed they go forward with this. I'll play him saying, you guys elected me to do what I think is right. I said, well, if your constituency disagrees, then you do what your constituency thinks is right. He said, no. You elected me to do what I think is right, and if you guys don't like that, you should get someone else.
Yeah.
I've got that on tape. I will put it on a loop, and I will play it over and over and over and over and over for him. He told you guys to vote for somebody else. I didn't. He did.
Right.
So if he's mad about losing the election, he should have listened more to you guys instead of talking so much. He should shut up and listen. He would have learned something. He would have learned he was going to lose if he didn't listen to teachers, listen to Clinton city people. Look, the folks here in our city of Clinton, we don't ask for a whole lot, but we would like to be listened to when we have a problem, not corrected, not reprimanded, not talked down to, not be treated like, we're kids. And John made a mistake in thinking that he was doing what everybody wanted him to do because he didn't listen to the people that asked him to do something. He hired Alan Beauchamp to run his campaign. I told Beauchamp he wasn't going to win. I'll tell you another thing. I'll tell you something else. John didn't spend one penny up here. He comes up here and wants free airtime all the time, but he didn't spend one penny to tell you guys why to vote for him. But Rick did. And guess what? Y'all listened and voted. Steve Emmert made that same mistake when he ran against Terry Frank. He thought that he could ignore John Reagan, the people. He didn't think he needed to speak to you guys and tell y'all why to vote for him. And so he didn't. Rick did. And y'all spoke. So, yeah, in this country, you can vote for who you want to.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what. Myra Mansfield does not need to be in charge of the Republican Party at all. Our Republican Party, right here, right now, is losing its way because of infighting. And what we should be doing is espousing our Republican values, what we care about, what we're going to do, what we see the future, not fight about who wants to be in the Republican Party. I'm smart enough to recognize if somebody is pretending to be a Republican. I don't need the Republican Executive Committee to tell me how stupid I am and who to vote for. I'm smart enough to make up my own mind. They don't believe that. They're passing laws all over the place in more states than Tennessee. And let me tell you what's going to happen. There's going to come a day when the Republicans are not in power. And the Democrats will turn this table on us, and we will suffer for it, just like they're suffering for it right now. It should be an open, absolute election anytime, anywhere in this country. And anything different, you might as well call Hugo Chavez and go to Venezuela. I'm telling you. So you want to get me fired up? That gets me fired up. Because the man sat right here on my radio station and told people to vote for someone else. Now he's pissed off because they did.
True.
So deal with it, Johnny.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. That's all I got. You know what? If y'all want to know what I'm thinking, just ask me because I pretty much am. I'll say it. And you know what? Guess what? Chief Scarborough voted Democrat right up until 2012. And he said and told me that he said the last time he voted Democrat was 2012. I have no reason to. Why would I debate him or argue with him when he said that the Democratic Party had changed to a point that he could no longer be with it? Why did you guys not contest Jeff Cole? Why did you guys not contest Tim Shelton? I can go on and on and on. Now all of a sudden we're going to do this? No. You know what? Both Jeff and Tim, I said, let's go. Come on in. Let's grow this party. Are we afraid that so many outsiders are going to come in, they're going to change our little cabal that we've got working here in Anderson County? My friend Tim Isbell is vice chair, and he hears this stuff from me all the time. Exclusion never, ever is the right way to go. Now, I say that based on people that come and say they want to be part of our party. All right? I don't think, I don't think illegal aliens should be able to vote. I don't think they should be in our country. I'll pay for a bus to send them back. But folks that come in legally, I am for it. I want inclusion. It's the same thing with our party. If you come in legally, you should be welcomed. And guess what? If you come in legally, right now, we have a candidate that came in legally. Tim Isbell sat right in that chair right there and read from the state chairperson, the state, whatever it is, executive, I don't even know them, these committees, that Rick Scarborough jumped through the hoops and was bona fide. Guess what? We want to change the hoops now. I don't want leadership like that. It's not right. It's not right. I don't care if it leads to more Republican victories or not. It's not right. I want to win our elections based on our ideals, based on the way that we lead, based on bettering life for the people we're going to die and leave behind. Leave a better place than you made. That's how I want to win elections. I don't want to win elections by default because you're mad. And I'll say this. I know there are about it's asserted that 900 Democrats voted in the Republican primary. I'm going to ask every single one of you to go back through your mail and somebody call me. If I'm lying, call me and tell me, didn't you receive a piece of mail from Representative Reagan asking you to vote for him? Did you or did you not? So, do we hold you accountable for doing what the 14-year state representative asked you to do? So he asked you to break the law and vote for him, and maybe you did. You went into the booth. Nobody knows what button you pushed. All right. When we start doing this as a country, as a county, as a community, when we start picking who does and don't vote, and again, in order to vote in the state of Tennessee's election, you've got to live here, you got to meet the criteria, right? But when you meet it, you shouldn't get penalized for voting. And guess what? Listen. The majority of people voted for Chief Scarborough. I want any of you right now. Anthony Allen, call in. You are an intelligent man that I look up to. I think you have great commentary and a great skill set to speak on this stuff. But tell me what's wrong with that. More people voted for him than voted for the other person. Take all the parties and all the bull crap out of it. What's wrong with that? Hurry. Watch and see how many people from the party that they can facelessly post on Facebook and all this other stuff. Call in and explain it to me. I'll sit quietly and listen. You know how I do that well. So explain it to me why the majority of Americans here in Anderson County don't count unless they have the correct R or the correct D by their name. You don't win people over by bullying them into whatever you think is right. You win people over by your leadership, your ideals, your vision for the future, your ability to correct problems right now, and listening. Do you know how many times, and maybe today will be one of those times, do you know how many times I've got on here and said, this is what I think? And somebody's called in and said, let me tell you about it, Ron. And I said, Ron's wrong. That's happened, believe it or not. And it's going to happen a million more times, hopefully, before I go to meet my maker. Oh, the state did it, Ron. It wasn't us. It was the state of Tennessee. Bill Lee did it. Really? Okay. Guys, again, we elect people. We put them in a position of authority to go and to legislate on our behalf, to speak on our behalf, because all of us can't drag ourselves to Nashville and go stand at downtown Nashville at the Capitol and tell them what we want all the time. So we elect people to carry our opinions, our, thoughts, what we want, what we don't want. We elect someone to go do that. They are a representative. Look up the definition of representative. It's not authoritarian. It's not do what I want. You represent your community. And you know what? If Chief Scarborough don't represent this community in 2 years, somebody else will run. Yeah, that's how it works. Sour grapes. This is Ask Your Neighbor on WYSH.
Hey, Ron.
Hey!
Yeah, I'm 62 years old. They got me confused about this voting stuff. I've always voted anti-slavery, which was Republicans.
Yep.
Democrats are the ones on slaves back then.
Yeah, no, they opposed it. They opposed the legislation to end slavery.
Right. Yeah, I guess we got the party started to fight slavery.
Yep.
Yeah, I know, like that's why Abraham Lincoln switched over, and Frederick Douglass switched over, and all of them.
You know what? Today, President Lincoln wouldn't be able to switch over. He might not meet the bona fide because he voted.
That's what I'm confused about now, because I've seen something on the news where so many Democrats voted Republican. And if they didn't keep count of each one of them, how they know?
Well, you go in. What they're doing is they're pulling up the voter rolls, like people that voted in the last election. All right, they know if you voted or you didn't. Right? They don't know who you voted for, but they know if you walked in the building, gave them your card, and went to the machine. Right?
Right.
So they can look at and they can see the last time you voted. All right. And in this particular election, it was a primary. So you picked. You went in and you said, I would like to vote in the Republican or the Democrat primary, correct? Well, what
does that matter? I mean, why should that matter? I mean, you vote for whoever you want to win.
It matters.
It don't matter Democrat, Republican, or whatever, as long as their values are there.
It matters only to the people that pick party over people. They pick the Republican Party and their particular platform over the will of the people. And it's the same thing. I I would get angry at the Democrats because just like right now, I mean, Kamala Harris is telling us she's going to fix things day one. Well, day one could be today. She's the vice president of the United States. They think we're so stupid that we're just going to go along like sheep. The party wants something. They want to tell us, not. And at the end,
everybody knows that she slept with some married guy to get up where she's at.
Yeah, she slept her way. She slept her way into her job.
Marriage,
yeah,
which was wrong, but she did it anyhow.
Yep.
Just to get ahead. So I mean, nobody takes you serious.
But
shouldn't anyhow.
The things that we rail on about what the Democratic Party does, we are doing. We are taking and picking and choosing who we want in our party, picking and choosing who can vote, and it's because we have power. I promise you, listen to me. I've said this over and over and over, and it's just life. It's not Ron. When you pull something, a rubber band way back, at some point it's going to let go and sling completely to the other side. And watch, when Democrats one day are in authority in the legislature, they're going to do exactly what we're trying to do. And we should be leading by example, showing people that we want them in the party and convincing them of what we want as Republicans to do. Not.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, not picking and choosing who we believe are Republicans. They say, well, you have to participate in the process and you need to be part of the Republican Party. Guess what? I've been to one Republican. For one, I've never been invited to. Well, I shouldn't say that because Tim's invited me. Tim Isbell has invited me, but nobody else in the Republican Party has ever asked me to come and be part of it. In fact, when Tim wanted me to come and moderate, the only time I've been to a Republican Party meeting is when I moderated a debate. And one of the questions that one of the executive committee branch gave me was an incorrect question. It was like, I said, this question says that this would raise your property taxes. A vote like this can't raise your property taxes. The property assessor, the state of Tennessee, they come. The question was, anyway, I'm getting off track. The bottom line is we don't need to be picking and choosing. The ballot box is the ballot box. In my eyes, it's sacred. And I hate people that say one thing in private and another thing in public. I think there's no room for that. I believe what I believe. I say it right here. I'm on radio, TV. I'm all over the world on the internet, and that's what I believe. If Rick doesn't do a good job, I'll be the first person standing right here to say it. I promise you. I will, and he knows I will. And if he does a good job, I'll be the first person right here to say it. I said, right. If you have a problem right now and you call our representative, you don't ask first if he's a Republican or she's a Republican or Democrat in order to solve your problem. You ask for help, right? And do you care as long as you get the help that you need? That's what they're there to do. We are losing sight of what we elect people to do. We are losing sight of what people that run for office are supposed to do. They are supposed to lead. They are supposed to carry our agenda and lead with that in mind. They're supposed to lead with that agenda. This is what we want. We do want school vouchers. We don't want school vouchers. We do want a property tax. We don't want a property tax. Whatever, or an income tax. Whatever the case might be, they are there.
We just want our kids to have proper education.
Me too. And
they would actually give you change for $1 and know how to count it up for him without having to look at the register.
And guess what? Both you and I get to pick what we choose as a proper education for our kids. And I don't want somebody telling me what is I want my kids to be taught what I want them to be taught. I love Clinton High School. My twins are there right now. My son is at the University of Tennessee right now. Guess what? I don't agree with everything, but I put them there because I believe in the school system. I believe in Anderson County schools. And that, again, we get to pick that. If I want to pull my kid, yeah.
But yeah, I know he plays sax and everything. I was looking for him up there, that band. I couldn't figure out which one it was. I get, but yeah, it's just it's crazy. I mean, these politicians anymore, they just. I mean, I was they wanted me to run for senator a long time ago, like that. I got out of the military and everything like that. And I told them I can't lie that good, like I don't like lying. So I can't be a politician like that because all I want to do is lie. Just whatever the constituents want and everything like that. And then, I mean, I'm all for that too. But, it's got to have certain values behind it. Everything like that too. They got, no gun control type deal. And I mean, I was trained I was trained infantry. So, I mean, I studied explosives and all that stuff, played with like that, and all the weapons type deal, killing up close and everything. But that's just what I was trained for, everything like that. But, I mean, I wasn't trained to lie and everything, and I can't lie and everything like that and just go along with somebody. It's a bartering deal up in D.C. It's like, you do this for me and I'll do that for you.
It is.
It's all it is. So.
Well, I want to make this clear. I'm definitely not accusing Representative Reagan of lying. I can't think of a moment. I don't have a for instance that he lied. He is pretty forthright in what he thinks, and he said it. Again, I can play it for you. He said it right here.
Well, I'm going to Scarborough, so I mean it's because I knew that I went to school with his wife and her sister, Sheree, and
sure,
and Molly.
Yeah.
And like that, and I liked them a lot. So I mean, I did that, voted for him for that reason.
Well,
I hope he does a good job.
I think sometimes, I've said this before. I heard this a long time ago. A preacher in Phoenix, Arizona, said this. He said, sometimes we as Christians get so heavenly minded, we are no earthly good. And I believe sometimes we as Republicans get so Republican minded that we are no civically good. We lose what's best for all the people. Guess what? All the people include Democrats and independents. When you go to represent all the people, you've got to listen to all the people. And sometimes, like for instance, on school vouchers, Clinton, Tennessee had a different idea than Nashville, Tennessee on vouchers. But our Clinton, Tennessee representative didn't bother to listen. In fact, he dismissed it. He was arrogant about it. He said he had it down pat. He was going to vote the way Memphis and Nashville and Shelby County and Davidson County and, not Anderson.
Yeah, it seems to me like the Democrats don't get the way they all are louder.
Well, they do. The Democrats are way bigger crybabies than Republicans. That's without a doubt. But you know what? The squeaky wheel gets the grease, and they definitely squeak a lot.
Yeah, well, like in Tennessee 3, I remember they used to bullhorn in the darn, Capitol. Like, yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous, stuff like that, just interrupting the flow of things. Like that, and then they got patted on the back for it. Like that. Instead kicked out like that Johnson woman over in Knoxville and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Gloria Johnson, I think her name was, and everything.
Yeah.
But, or is, and everything like that. Just, I mean, you don't pat somebody on the back for doing wrong,
I agree.
You spank that butt.
Again, I want anybody. I'm begging right now. Myra Mansfield, Anthony Allen, you guys, you're championing this movement. Call in and explain it to the people why their vote don't count. Please. And if they can't, if the rest of the Republican committee, if your leadership can't call in and explain right now why there's a challenge being backed by the Anderson County Republican Party, then I don't think it has merit, and I think they need to be replaced.
Well,
So-
you got to admit that.
Or email me, text me. If you're afraid to call, text me then.
Yeah.
I'll read it.
You got the KKK, was the Democratic Party. You couldn't join the KKK unless you was a Democrat, anything like that. Then you got the PLO, the PLM, and Black Lives Matter, all of them on the same side, the pro-Nazi, the skinheads. You got all that like that, all on the same side now, like that, anti-Israel, like that, same thing, you know. But it's kind of weird how they're all on the same side, instead of, being different sides and everything.
It is.
It's just, that's just a weird thing. All of them fighting for the same cause.
Do you remember?
Kill the Israels or.
Do you remember when the Black Lives Matter movement got mad and threw people out when they said all lives matter?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. They got mad about it.
All lives matter. Oh, no. Not all lives. Only the ones we pick. And that's that's what's happening right now. I understand there is legitimate worries about one party coming in and changing another party's agenda, right? But guess what?
Right.
That happens every election. Me and you, we represent our own party. I go vote to change stuff or to make stuff happen or to, you know what I mean, to whoever I want. I'm telling you right now, I think it's a slippery slope. I think it will sling back against us. We just elected a Democrat in Oak Ridge. So it wasn't that there weren't Democrats voting for Democrats.
Oh, you got a phone call?
I do, but that's all right. All right, my friend.
Hey, you take it easy. God bless the country.
God bless you. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. Let me take a quick break, see who's on my phone.
H&H Body Shop is a family-owned and operated body shop. Here's Darla, co-owner of H&H Body Shop, on how she ended up in the family business.
Well, I was born into it, but I did choose it. I helped my dad at night on his paperwork when I was a kid. Then I started during high school coming up here. Then after I graduated on state, I ended up here full-time. Daddy got ready to retire, and he wanted me and Barry to do it together, so me and Barry became partners in the early 90s, and we've stuck together ever since.
What do you think sets H&H Body Shop apart from all the others?
We try to fix your car like it was our own. A lot of times other body shops just don't care like that. We're a family business, and we act like a family business.
H&H Body Shop on North Main Street in Clinton. Call 865-457-9734. H&H Body Shop. There since 1960. There when you need them.
Summer's just getting started, so fill your cooler with the smooth and refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. It tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. And with a 5% kick of alcohol, Twisted Tea is perfect for the beach, the lake, or wherever you're hanging out and day drinking with your friends. Look for the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
I can't believe tax season is here already. Look at all this info I have to enter.
Phil's small accounting firm is growing in numbers.
Why didn't I take that typing class in high school?
A data entry specialist could really help him in a crunch.
I got blisters on my fingers.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for a used car, but not just any used car? Are you looking for a pre-owned car that really says something? You need to check out the pre-owned cars at Mini of Knoxville. From a Bentley to a BMW, a Corvette to a Cadillac, even a Ferrari or Lamborghini. You'll find the most fabulous exotic cars at Mini of Knoxville. Not only will you find the highest line of pre-owned cars, you'll also find the all-new Mini Cooper Countryman and Clubman, as well as a wide variety of used Mini Coopers. If you've always wanted a Mini Cooper, then Mini of Knoxville is your next stop. Experience their first-class red carpet welcome and see what a difference you feel at Mini of Knoxville. Mini of Knoxville is owned by the Grayson Auto Group, so you know they're homemade right here in your hometown. Let Mini of Knoxville put your dream car or truck in your driveway today. You'll find your dream car at Mini of Knoxville, located on Parkside Drive just off Lovell Road next to Grayson BMW. See all of the cars and trucks you love to drive at Mini of Knoxville. Mini for the drive.
All right. 865-457-1380. Is no one going to call and explain this Republican, why we're contesting this? Can no one just explain it to everybody? I'll let you have the floor. I'll let you talk. You can come in. And again, I think I hold as many Republican values as anybody. I think I'm as conservative, maybe more so than even, President Reagan was. I don't know. So I'm certainly not bashing I'm not trying to tear down the Republican institution of what we believe, our philosophy. In fact, I talk about it all the time, my beliefs, in a hope that maybe I find something in common with someone that thinks differently. We can have a conversation, and then I can explain my view, and maybe they will accept my view. And also, if I'm wrong, I would love to be educated when I'm wrong about something. I don't want to walk around being wrong about something all the time. I don't want to walk around thinking I'm right when I'm not. So, I surround myself with people that are smarter than me. You know why? So that I learn. And they make me look good. I want to learn. I don't think I'm the smartest guy in the room, ever. Good morning. Welcome to Ask Your Neighbor on WYSH.
Good morning there, Ron. Meredith.
Hi, buddy.
You're either sunburned or your blood's a-boiling talking about these politics.
Both.
You're a little red in the face anyway.
Well, it really bothers me. It really does, because, for one, if the people that are contesting the election or backing the contest of this election watched or listened to my stations, they would have heard the representatives say, when I disagree with the constituency, I do what I think is right. That's what you all elected me to do, what I think is right. And if you don't like that, elect someone else. He said that, not me.
I was listening to that there.
You heard it.
Radio station there.
So now all of a sudden I'm a bad guy because I'm coming out against this, what I think is a communist, way to overturn an election. You don't like the outcome, so you're going to literally prosecute people for going to the ballot box and voting. What is that sending? What message is that sending to kids? They don't even want to fool with it. But when they turn 18, they're certainly not going to go vote and be risking go to jail. This is stupid. If they don't throw out the leaders of the Republican committee and right now in this area, then there's no telling who will switch parties. I'm telling you, it's ignorant. And I'm begging for anybody to call and explain it. Guess what? They don't even have the backbone to call and explain it to me. They just want to tell us why that it's wrong. You're a Republican, Ron. We say it's wrong. You need to swallow it and regurgitate it that it's wrong. This election was wrong. Guess what? I don't do that. Homie, don't play that.
Yeah, they ought to step forward, come out, and try to explain themselves there. Explain it. Don't just send it through the media some type of way there, and just get up and explain it.
I've got 4 lines open. No one will call in. And you know what? My phone, when the second I get off the air, my phone will start beeping, blowing up, going off. Watch and see.
Whatever happened, Ron, there, I know that Chief, I always call him Chief. There you go.
Chief Scarborough.
He came up to the radio station and talked, answered questions and stuff, and talked to you. But Reagan there, I know you even talked about having them having some kind of debate there or whatever.
Yes.
What, did he just refuse to show up?
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read you the so that I don't misquote, so that I can't be accused of putting words in somebody's mouth. I'm going to read you exactly what I was told. Okay. I'm going to let me see here. All right, here we go. I'm going to go through the whole thing. I'm getting all the way back here. For one, I got a. Hang on just a second. Man, I didn't realize we had this many conversations. Let's see here. When I was trying to set the dates, let's see here. I said, okay, tentatively 7:23 at 10:10 a.m. That's Tuesday. Yes, that's fine. It said, however, he's eating breakfast with Randy Boyd that day. Wednesday or Thursday would be more manageable. I said, we can do Wednesday. Alan Beauchamp, who was representing John, emailed back, Wednesday is fine if Rick could do 10:10 a.m. I'll ask. And then I sent back, Alan, Rick can do it, but with some adjustments. John Reagan had sent me a thing that said he wanted 5 minutes on an opening intro, 5 minutes on a closing, and 3 minutes to answer questions. And
a rebuttal.
Yeah, and then the rebuttal it says John wants 5 minute intro, 3 minutes to answer questions. If agreeable, I'll find some money. Meaning they buy advertising. I said, just call me when you get time. When I went to Rick said, man, 5 minutes is a long time. Could we cut that down? So I met in the middle. I said, let's do like 3 minute open, 3 minute close, 2 minute answer, 1 minute rebuttal, right? This is what I said. I said, Alan, Rick can do it, but we've got some adjustments. We will do 3 minute intro and close, 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer questions, and 1 minute rebuttal. Now, I'll show you this if you guys don't believe me. John won't agree. John is the one that asked me for the debate, or at least Alan. So John won't agree. So I said, okay. And I said, you and I both know 5 minutes is a lifetime on the radio, and it is. It's a long time. And so
he wanted to there, but he wanted to do it only on his own terms.
Yep. I went back. I said, hey, good morning, Alan. Is John going to participate on the 24th? Rick is going to be here. Also, I didn't know if I did not realize Jasper had mentioned a debate to you before. Remember I said that John asked me for it? Well, I then found out because at that moment when I was responding back and forth to Alan, I thought that he had asked it out of the blue, but Jasper had mentioned it to him. I said, I did not know Jasper had mentioned a debate to you. I thought you had requested it. Both you and I know that this is what I said, if you ask John what time it is, he'll tell you how to build a watch. 5 minutes is too long. So he said, thank you, Ron. I will ask him. Maybe this compromise is workable. I'll get back with you tomorrow. John's compromise is 4 minute open, 2.5 minutes to respond, questions or topics in advance to prepare. And this is what it said. He controls all debate and public speaking decisions. He said, let Rick know. This is not about Rick. And I just said, I'm setting the terms for what happens on my radio station, you know? Not John, not Rick, nobody else. I am. I ask questions. I get to decide. They didn't like it. He didn't come. Rick came. It's that simple. I mean, well, Rick came when I originally asked him. We didn't have the debate. It never happened, you know? And so now to get mad, he didn't buy advertising. He didn't think you guys were important enough to ask for your vote on advertising. He didn't do a debate. All the polls said he didn't need us. The polls were wrong.
Yeah, he's just crying over spilt milk. If he'd have started to listen to his constituents and valued, their concerns and how they felt and stuff there, he might have stood a better chance there. But when he decided there, hey, what was it? If you don't like the decisions I make, then vote for somebody else there. And then the people spoke, and now he wants to cry about it.
Now he's mad because they did what he asked him to do.
Yeah.
And I've had at least 3 Democrats say, why did he send me all this mail 3 and 4 times, asking me to vote for him, and now he's going to try and put me in jail for doing it? And I promise you, I know one of these people, and if they try to bring a charge against him, they're going to sling that stuff right back on the Republican Party. It's just going to make us look as stupid as we look right now, and even more so.
Yeah, I don't know where it's headed there, but I guess we'll all stay tuned and find out. But Ron, let's talk about something positive.
Football
time in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Corner there. Gosh, I was looking there last night there about when the ball walk takes place there, buddy. You're going to have to get over there kind of early. Saturday morning.
Everybody's meeting at my house at 8. And then
8 a.m.
8 a.m. And I've now bought 2 parking places, which I don't think I'll ever do this again in my life because it's cost way too much money. But I've bought 2 spaces as close to the stadium as I could get. I'm in G16 and G17, so I'm right next to it because I want to watch my son walk the Vol Walk for the very first time in the Pride of the Southland Band. I am proud beyond words. I don't even have words. I'm so proud of him, what he's done, what he's accomplished, his GPA and his full ride scholarship, and he's majoring in going to be an astrophysicist, minoring in music, and I'll be there if I have to walk there. I'll be there, but we're leaving the house at 8 a.m. Saturday.
Are you taking a bus?
You know what? I just bought a Lincoln Navigator L, the great big long one. It's almost a bus. So yes, and Mom and Dad have the same thing. So we will have 2 bus loads. Yeah.
Oh, a good deal then. Well, where will he be at there in the band there? I know he's a sax player there. Will he be close to where you guys are going to be at when he walks by? Is he on the outside?
Now, I don't know where he's marching on the Vol Walk. I know he told me that in pregame he's at the top of the tee on the home side. He said, look at the top of the tee on the home side, because he said, I'm worried I'm going to get run over by some football players because I'm right on the home side. So he will be very near the home team. If you're setting looking at the tee, I think he would be on the top left side. So I'll be, but I don't know if I'll be able to find him or not. I think he's got long hair, but I think he has to put his hair up. So they all, they all look uniformed. So that's where he's going to be, though. That's what he said.
I know that. I just think that is the coolest thing there when they go into formation before the players rush onto the field.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That's got to take some practice.
Well, they went through band camp, and then band is just like a course. You know what I mean? It's just like, biology or whatever you take over there. So every day he goes to that class, and every day they work on this routine and the things they're going to do. I was really proud. He made first saxophone. I mean, when you make first saxophone, that means and I don't know, there may be more than one first chair. When I was in band, there was only one first chair, but there may be more than one today. But he made first chair on his very first year in the band as a freshman, which is I think a pretty big deal. So I don't know. They work on it every day. They practice every day. he says that they got it down, and it's going to be cool. He says the routine, the halftime show is really cool. So I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool there. He's a smart cookie there, sure enough. There, so
he is.
I'm glad you guys are going to be over there to watch him and get to tailgate for a little while after that. I think they said the ball walk was. I thought they said maybe around 10:15, 10:30, somewhere in there.
It's going to be about 2 hours before kickoff, so 10:45 maybe. I'll be there. If it starts at 9, I'll be there. If it starts at 11, I'll be there. Whenever it starts.
Okay, are y'all planning a pretty good little tailgate too?
Yeah, well, I don't know. We're going over, and the whole reason that we're parking in G16 and 17 is just so that we can walk down and be on the strip when he comes. I don't know. I don't know if we'll walk. We'll probably just go somewhere and get something to eat after that. I'm not. I haven't.
I didn't know. A lot of people, they'll take grills and.
Oh, I've done that for 30 some odd years, but I parked behind the Copper Cellar and I walked over. I just wanted to be where he was. For one, my dad's 81, mom's 80, and I want them to be able to see it, and I didn't want them to have to walk the 2 or 3 miles away from the stadium that I usually park, or however far it is. So that's why I got it. So I don't know if we'll go, tailgate or whatever we're going to do. We'll probably just watch him and then migrate into the stadium, or maybe get something to eat and migrate into the stadium. I don't know. Again, all of that, I don't care. I'll do whatever they want to do, as long as I get to see him come down that hill, and as long as I get to watch him march in the pregame and the halftime show. Yeah, I'll. After that, nothing else matters. I don't want to lose the game, but even if we did, I would still be happy if I got to see him.
Oh, absolutely. There, it's. I know I've read about a lot of these different things there with the tailgating and all that stuff there. I've participated in a lot of it during my earlier days there, but I know that down in at LSU, they said, excuse me, there are home games there. If it's a late game, they said, by the time them Cajuns get into the stadiums, that they're
raging Cajuns.
Raging Cajuns, yeah, sure enough. They've had too long to tailgate. When they get there, they said that place is just crazy.
Well, if you've ever been on the Strip for an 8 o'clock kickoff.
Oh, it gets a little different.
Yeah, it gets a little different. You don't want to be driving, that's for sure.
Getting there, but I don't know if you've ever been to Tennessee and Florida at a Florida home game.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the most rudest people down there ever.
I remember one time I had a friend, and they invited me to come down to Florida and watch a UT Tennessee game. And my attorney at the time, Mark Troutman, one of my best friends, he said, please don't go. I said, why?
Trying to give you some good advice.
He said, please don't go. They'll put you in jail. I said, why? And he told me he went. He told me that they threw bottles of pee onto the Tennessee fans.
Good gosh almighty.
And he said, Ron, I've known you since we grew up together. And if somebody throws a bottle of pee on you, you're going to jail because you're going to get in a fight.
Oh, you're going to be fighting mad.
Yeah, they threw. He said they threw bottles of pee on them. He said they cursed them. They threw food at them. I mean, just terrible stuff. And I decided to stay home and watch it on TV.
Yeah, the swamp is not a fun place to go.
I've never been, and I think it might be good to go one time just to see it. But and maybe now I'm older. That was 25 years ago that he told me that. So Jasper's saying no, it's not. What do you say?
No, it's not a good.
It's not a good place. You've been to the swamp, right?
I've heard. Well,
no,
not for a game. But
Jasper's got money. Yeah. Where'd you get that?
I got that from an advertiser.
Is that for me?
No.
Okay.
No,
that's yours, huh? But you have or have not been to the swamp?
No, I've been to the swamp, but not during game time.
Okay, all right.
But I've heard so many horror stories from all my friends that have experienced the swamp, and it's not a pleasant trip.
Not when Tennessee's there.
No, they hate us.
Yeah, and you know what? We hate them right back.
They're rude. Even the 2- and 3-year-old kids hate us. They train them on it. The little mini crocodiles.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Well, I'm like I said, I'll sit and watch it on TV. Although now I'm older, and as you all know, I'm mellow now. So I might be able to go and not get in trouble, not have any confrontation now. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yet to be determined.
You get pea thrown on you. I don't care if I'm 85 years old. I'm coming up with my cane.
Me too.
No kidding there, but. Anyway, one other thing I wanted to talk to you about, Ron, there. I know you had this guy, and it was interesting there. Gosh, y'all talked the whole time. There's the guy from the driving school.
Oh, yeah. Matt.
And of course, I'm probably just going to call him there. I got a 17-year-old, just turned 17-year-old grandson that has no interest in driving whatsoever. And it don't really bother me any, even though he did get his certificate or his license, whatever you have to drive a wave runner, but he's not interested in a car.
James David has his boating license to drive a wave runner in a boat, and he wants to drive a car. But, yeah, there's a lot of kids. That's what Matt was saying. There's a lot of kids that just don't have they don't care about it now.
Right there. And and actually, didn't he say that most of the time when a kid gets their driver's license, they have a wreck within the first year?
First 6 months. Yeah.
First 6 months.
Oh, I'm sorry, second 6 months, because by the time they get to 6 months, they become emboldened. They feel like, and that's when they
get a little more comfortable.
Yeah, and then I thought he said within the first 6 months or right after, but yeah, within a year certainly, yes.
But the part that I didn't understand there or whatever, I mean, if a kid doesn't have a driver's license, but he wants to go to a driving school, how is he allowed to drive a car around with an instructor with him if he don't have a license?
With a permit. They get you get a permit the day you can get it the day you turn 15. You can also get a hardship driver's license when you're 14 if you want. But they drive them with a permit, I understand. I don't know if he can take them if they don't have a permit.
Okay.
You have to call him and ask him.
I didn't know if you realize this or not there, because I'm a little older than you, but I had a motorcycle driver's license when I was 14.
Well, I was driving a motorcycle when I was 14. I didn't get a motorcycle driver's license till I was probably 35. I didn't know I needed one. I wasn't paying any attention.
Okay, yeah, but you used to, and I'm not sure if the rules has changed with that or what there. If you can still at 14 years, I think I had a Honda SL100 there.
Oh, wow, I had a SL70.
Oh, okay. That was a nice little bike. Yep. So was a 125s there. But it had to be at 14. It could only be so many cc's.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was at 14. That was back in, God, what year would that have been there? Late 70s, maybe, somewhere in there.
Probably.
Early 70s, somewhere.
Probably.
No, it wouldn't have been then. God, it'd been way before then. But anyway, yeah, you could get it at 14. Because I remember when I went in to take the test there that I didn't read up like I should have there, and I missed one too many questions. So I had to go back again.
I did the same thing. I failed my first motorcycle test. I told this to Matt. You probably heard me. I was driving one day. I was going across the dam, all boop-doo-doo-doo-doo, and there was a roadblock, and I just eased up to it. I knew the state trooper that was doing it and spoke to him. I was like, hey, how you doing, Mark? He's like, I'm good, Ron. How are you? I'm good. He said, can I see your license? I said, yeah. And he looked at it, and he looked at me, and he gave me this look. And I was like, what? And he said, pull over here a minute. And I was like, what? He's like, pull over. Just come over here. I want to talk to you. So I pulled over there, and he's like, Ron, you don't have a stamp. I was like, what? He said, you need a motorcycle stamp. I was like, really? He said, yeah. He said, I'm going to write you this ticket. But if you take it and go do, what you're supposed to do, you'll get out of it. You'll still probably have court costs, but I got to write you a ticket. I was like, okay. So he wrote me a ticket, and I ended up having to pay the ticket and go get my motorcycle license.
Oh, okay, then.
But I didn't know. I know now.
That's been a while back, then, hasn't it?
It's been a while. Yeah. Like I said, I was probably 35, so, 25 years ago.
Yeah, that's been a minute there for sure.
That's been a minute.
So, anyway, changing the subject again there, I heard you say something about that Jasper has got an intern in training.
Yeah, Ed Ballerini's grandson. Any of you all know Ed Ballerini, his daughter Kelsey Ballerini, big country music star. Ed and I I've known Ed for 40-some years, I reckon. And Pete, he's been with Pete. I've been with Pete Michaels I've known Pete for 40 years, and Ed's been with Pete as long as I've known Pete. So I've known Ed as long as I've known Pete. So, a great guy. It's his grandson, Wade, that's up here, intern. How's Wade doing, Jasper?
He did good. Yeah, he's excited to get started.
He's still not here?
No.
That's a short work day, buddy.
Well, he's only permitted for the class that he signed it up for, so he can only work 1 hour a day, Monday through Friday.
Got it. What'd you have him doing?
Well, I took him around the tour of the studio here and kind of showed him the conference room, and Jay showed him the operations over here on the Merle side of things. So I think he's really excited to get into that. But
he wants to talk on radio, don't he?
Yeah, I think
you should have brought him in and let him talk on radio with me.
Well, we can do that.
We'll do that. We'll do it tomorrow.
He'll be here tomorrow.
Okay. I need to call.
Is that what he's wanting to do there? I didn't know if Jasper was going to get him out there helping him with sales, or if he just is wanting to maybe end up on...
Hey, let me tell you, Jasper needs no help with sales. He's got this sales stuff down pat. He's having the biggest year of your life, aren't you, sales-wise?
It's a record year.
He's kicking a record year right now.
Well, good deal then. He may be riding around in one of them Corvettes like you for long.
Well, he sold his. He had one. me and him and Jack all had ours. We used to bring him and park them. Mine was black, Jasper's was white, and Jack's is red. So we'd park them in a row. And Jasper sold his. Jasper's not in the club no more till he gets another one.
Good deal then. Well, if he's listening there, guys, I just totally, completely forgot about the sports show last night there. I think I was sitting out on the porch there. I've got some relatives coming into town this weekend there, and I was talking to one of them, lived up in Indiana, and I just totally forgot about it. But how did it go, Jasper?
Well, it went well. I mean, you can go back and review it on our WYSH Facebook page or BBB TV 12, so that you can watch all of it. So.
Oh, okay. I'll do that here in a little while there.
Yep.
So did you have any other guests up there?
Well, we had one of the student athletes that plays football. He's a safety and receiver for the Clinton Dragons. That's Bo Wright, and he's a senior. We had him on. We had Coach Jason Hammock. He actually took a few calls last night. And, of course, again, we have the history lesson with John Sleepy Williams. Again,
I'm going to play that here in a minute.
Yeah. So he was talking about the West rivalry and the history of that matchup.
And we want to say, again, I said it last night when I called in. I said it again, I want to thank Tim Elrod. He's a huge contributor to our community. He's a Mavs fan. And that's okay. You got to have them.
Everybody's got to have their own team, and he understands.
But he is investing in this broadcast to invest in the students of Clinton and try and do something good. And I just appreciate it, I really do. Whether he spends his time and money here at the radio station or not, he does spend his time and money trying to do good things for our community. If you go to the fair, you know that. And I think people like that, people like Mike Farley, there's a lot of people in our community that step up and do big things for our kids, and I really do appreciate it. Whether they're spending their money here or spending their money somewhere else, if it's for the kids, it's a good investment to make, and I'm appreciative of Tim Elrod and OEB coming on and sponsoring our sports talk show. We wouldn't have had it without him.
No kidding there. Now, where'd you say, where's his home school
Oh, Tim, he's bigger. He's a Mavs fan, buddy, and he won't make any bones about it either.
He did grow up in the Claxton community.
Yeah, he grew up in Claxton.
He's spending money in Clinton, and now we can't really hold that against him.
Oh no, I spent him and Jasper spent about 2 hours back in the conference room, so I know exactly where Tim Elrod stands when he cheers. But I also know that he knows kids are kids, and he wants all of them to do well. And that, even though I guarantee you he'll be cheering for the Mavs when we play.
Well, I cheer for the Mavs, except for one game.
When they play Clinton. It's the same thing. I cheer for all of our teams, other than when Clinton plays them. I did not believe Oak Ridge lost last week. That was a surprise.
Well, that was one of the conversations that me and Walt, we were talking about. What games surprised you? That was that Jefferson County beat Oak Ridge by 3 was very surprising. And also, for the first time since 2006, 7, 8, somewhere around that era, was the first time that Alcoa has ever lost a home opener.
Woo, man.
Yeah, but they were playing a 6A school, too.
They were.
Who'd they play, Jasper? Mike, who'd they play? Who?
Ravenwood.
Wow.
Ravenwood,
okay.
I'm not so sure that they're not were the defending state champions.
Okay. Well, again,
they're a big school, 6A school there.
Alcoa is a football powerhouse. You know that. Alcoa Maryville. At one time, I had the broadcast rights for Maryville, Alcoa, and Clinton all. We were doing Maryville on WGAP. We did Alcoa on Praise, and we did the Dragons here on WYSH.
Oh, wow. Maryville and Alcoa both there, buddy. I don't know. I don't know how they stay good every year, just about.
Well, kids gravitate to success, and so they want to go there.
They start them young in their youth programs, and they embed that from the time that they're 5 and 6-year-olds to be champions, and that's the same mentality that Anderson County has developed.
Yeah. Start them early and work it. Teach them a good work ethic, practice ethic, and
it's crazy how this transfer portal has gravitated to the high school level too. Of course, I'm not going to just down the Mavericks, but guys, they've had an influx of players that have transferred into there, going all the way back to the. Oh, God, what was the old coach's name that come from Hall?
Larry Kerr.
Larry Kerr there. God, I hadn't seen Larry in a long time. I like the guy there, but I know I've got a friend that I talked to yesterday who's got a grandson that plays for Hall's High School. But anyway, the Price twins, they went over to Grace Christian Academy there.
Yes.
They've been up Campbell County for a pretty good little run. They transferred from Campbell County to Anderson County High School and played their last 2 years of high school football. But anyway, he was telling me that Halls went up to Campbell County this past Friday night there, and I don't know if Campbell down year or what though, but he said it was like 41-0 at halftime. He said his grandson scored 2 touchdowns and had about 100 and something yards. And I believe he said that might have been the final score there, whatever. So it sounds like, I don't know how good Halls is, but it sounds like Campbell County maybe is going to have a down year, which they've been pretty good the last several years since the Price boys have been there. But
last year, I had some friends that live in Kentucky, and they came down and they met me at the Campbell County game, and they went. We all stayed on my houseboat, which is up at Indian River in Campbell County, and the guy. He didn't want to come to the game. He just was going to come and let me know he was there. We told him, when you get there, we'll leave. I went and watched the game and watched Trey play at halftime. Trey was in the band, right? So we were going to leave after halftime, depending on, the game. And the Dragons just butt-whipped Campbell County last year. I can't remember what the score was, but it was we beat them bad. He said, as he was walking up, they stopped him. They said, "You can't go in there." And he said, "I'm just going to get my friend, and we're going to leave." He said, I don't want to stay. Well, they wouldn't let him come in unless he paid the $7 tickets. So he paid the $7, and he came in, and when Trey came off the field and was sitting down, we went down, visited with Trey, talked to him and everything, and then we left to go to the boat, and he stopped by the ticket counter. He said, "No wonder you guys need that $7. You need to invest in your football team because they suck." I was like, "Oh, man." I said, "I'm from here. I got to live with these people." Stop it. But yeah, the girl in the ticket booth was like, "Okay."
Gosh, how funny. Yeah. Hey, gosh, man, look, I went to school up here.
Yeah, I was like, "Stop it. That's my cousin."
Oh, my goodness.
But, yeah, they're going to have a rebuilding year for sure.
Right there. I meant to ask Jasper, I don't know if he's still listening there. What did James David contribute to the sports talk? Did he get to talk any or anything?
Yes, James David gave his perspective on the game Friday night, which he was up in the press box with Jim and Walt, and he made a very valid point about the Dragons getting into the red zone and not scoring. So if they would have converted the times that they got into the red zone, I think that it could have been a different outcome for the Dragons. But however, his analysis was kind of dead on it.
Well, and this is what I've encouraged James David, Walt, and Jasper, is to use James David as from the student's perspective. And when I called last night, that's what I was trying to get him to answer. What do the students see, feel, hear, say about our football program and about any of the stuff going on? I think it's just, whether it's James David or whether it's going to be Wade or who, to have that perspective coming out of the school, to see what the kids think. And also, I like it because James David, he plays basketball for Chris. He's got a bunch of friends, and so he's bringing all them to the radio to listen. I love having that young input and perspective and listenership, growing our listenership that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Did you go to the game last week, Jasper?
Yes, I did.
Okay, then I've got some. Well, I don't have the footage or anything there. Just some comments from some of the Clinton parents that sent to me on Facebook that Cleveland had one player, I don't remember his number there, that said just played dirty football for much of the game until he finally got threw out of the game.
Yes, he did get ejected from the game. I think he had 2 personal fouls, face mask, blocking the black. So, something along those lines, but one of their players did get ejected. Of course,
late hit, I believe.
Yeah.
Late hit.
and I'm going to tell you, that team is much more different than the team that we played Cleveland last year. This team is not as disciplined. They've got young players. I think they had over 200-something yards in penalties.
Well, I know we had 8 and they had 33 or something like that. Isn't that right?
Yeah. So
there was 33 penalties in that game?
I think Cleveland had 33
Cleveland had 33
penalties.
Yeah. So
Good gosh almighty there. That's just crazy right there. That's not a bit of discipline. How did they look at this as a football team there? I thought that I was impressed with Clinton, the way they played with them in the first half, because from everything I'd heard, Cleveland was supposed to have been just a superior team.
Well, Cleveland is not as dynamic as they were last year. I mean, they go to the spread. They spread the receivers out, but they don't get a lot of production. I mean, it's maybe 2 and 3 yards per carry. But there was just no big plays really on the Cleveland. I mean, most of their touchdowns were probably about 15 or 20-yard touchdowns. But, overall, Clinton hung in there that first half and kept it a close ball game. But it just kind of got away from us being able not to convert inside the red zone. And I'm sure Coach Hammock is going to be looking at ways to correct that situation.
Well, the game was pretty much in hand there, Jasper, there, and I think I might have been watching it on Dragon Vision and listening on the radio, but I couldn't believe with the comfortable lead they had there was like 50-something seconds to go, and they're still back. They were still back trying to throw the football.
Yep.
Like, yeah, you just don't do that.
Well,
the coach there, you run the clock. Come on.
Yep.
Unless he had, and they had second team in there or something. They're trying to get them a little work there. I believe we kept our first team in there for the biggest part of the game. I mean, all the way through the game, I think.
Yep. Well,
anyway, going back to that Oak Ridge game there, Jeff County has got a big old boy there, and I cannot remember his name there, but he signed with the University of Tennessee. And from what I read there, Oak Ridge was going on what could potentially be a game-winning drive, and that kid that signed with Tennessee recovered an Oak Ridge fumble, and that wrapped it up there. But God, they jumped on Oak Ridge like 21-0 right off the bat.
Yeah. Well, it had to probably be disappointing for Oak Ridge. That's 2 games in a row that's been disappointing for them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There. The one before this one was when the Dragons went down there and put a whooping on them.
Yes, I think that's one of the most memorable games. I asked Walt, I asked James David last night what their most memorable game in Clinton was, and that was the response, the Oak Ridge game from last year. So I've seen a lot of great games coming through the Clinton program, but I think that Oak Ridge was one of the most signature wins that I had actually witnessed.
Well, West, they end up, that's who we got Friday night there. They took of course, it was a 3 overtime loss there to the Bearden Bulldogs.
Now Bearden, are they a powerhouse this year, Mike? Do you know much about Bearden?
Well, they've got a big old strong-looking transfer of a quarterback, which was the one that was going to be coming to Clinton there, had Coach Keith been retained there. And not only did they get him there, they got one of Clinton's better players transferred to Bearden as well there, Mr. Booby. But anyway, they're going to be pretty good there, it looks like, though.
Seems like.
I can't remember who they're playing this week there, but I think it may be even Alcoa.
What do you think about this week's game of the Dragons, pal?
I'm hopeful for the Dragons there, but not feeling real good there. West is a 2-time defending state champion.
And they are disciplined, or at least they were last year for sure.
They've got a good coach there, and they are very disciplined there. But I'm Dragon all the way, and I'm Tennessee all the way too there, and I'm predicting Tennessee in a big way over even though that Chattanooga team there in OVC or whatever conference they're in, they're projected to win that conference there, so they're going to have some talent there, but I don't know that they're going to match up with their balls or not. I'm picking the balls big in that game.
Mike Kelly was the kicker for the Mocs. Did you know that?
Kelly, God, he ought to have been a dead burn lineman.
Yeah, he should have been a lineman.
Little guy.
He's a big man.
Well, I asked him the other day. I said, hey, it just dawned on me. Tennessee is playing your alma mater. Who are you pulling for? He said, hey, I'm a winner either way. He said, but if you really want to get down to it, he said, I've been a Vol all my life, and I've been a Mock for 4 years.
Ah, look at that.
He's going to be a winner either way.
Winner, chicken dinner. You better believe it, buddy.
Good deal. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. It's going to be a little bit sunny and warm outside there, but I'll take it any day of the week there than what I went through this past year there with it sub-zero and water pipes frozen up.
Hush!
Heat pump went out.
Hush!
I ended up, I'm telling you the truth there, Ron. I didn't want to leave the house there. Of course, I could have went anywhere, but I stayed at home under a bevy of blankets and stuff there. And when I got up to go to the restroom there that morning there, it was, I think it was 36 degrees inside the house. It was cold.
Buddy, I'm right there with you. That happened to me not last Christmas, but Christmas before. We got up on Christmas Eve when everybody was coming to the house, and I got up, and it was 40 degrees in the house.
Oh, I'm telling you what, that's cold there. If you was an Alaskan there, you'd be able to take it pretty good. But I'm just an old broke down country boy.
Luckily, I had a fireplace.
97 any day over that.
I had a fireplace, and we fired that up, and that created a little bit of heat. And then Christmas Eve, Kenny Powell himself came out and got us as good as he could get us. But he came out that day, and he had 3 more to go to. I was like, bless your heart. He said, we're switching Christmas Eve to the day after Christmas at our house because he had so many calls, so many people calling him.
Well, that's great that he did come out and try to get you helped out there. That dedicated dude's work there.
He is.
Powell Brothers.
Amen.
Good deal, then. All right, Ron, enjoy the rest of your day. Jasper, you do the same, brother.
All right, and be sure to tune in next Tuesday.
God, I can watch it on TV.
Yes.
Watch it on TV.
And we do have the Fastlane Auto Repair trivia, where you can win a free oil change.
You know what? Did you hear what I said? What I'm going to put into it next week? I'm gonna also for trivia, not just the oil change, tickets to Bristol.
Oh wow!
For Tuesday. Oh, it's Bristol, baby.
It's Bristol, baby. Tuesday night. You want to win tickets to Bristol? Listening to Jasper.
I think I'll be the first one to know the trivia.
No. you can't win.
Now it starts at 6 o'clock, right?
6 o'clock
on the nose.
BBB and WYSH.
All over the world.
Ron, I remember, I don't know if it's been since you've been up there, but WYSH used to have a little jingle. It was WYSH.
Oh, yeah, 1380. Yeah, I still got it.
Oh, okay. I hadn't heard it in a long time.
Well, I haven't used it in a long time. You know what? I don't know if we transferred it over.
Maybe dig it out of the archives.
It's probably back. It's probably in that studio in there. On a cart.
On a
cart
guys,
machine.
enjoy your day.
See you, man. Bye-bye. Yeah. WY1380. Yep. That's in there somewhere.
That tells you Mike's age.
He's older than me. That's all I'm going to say. So, West, what do you think?
Yeah, you know, Jason Hammock last night has a positive outlook for it. He said, that's why we suit him up and play. I mean,
you know what? Let me ask you this. When I called in, I said, we got 80 plus. He was like, we're pushing 90. And he got 2 emails yesterday. He said, for 2 more kids want to come on the team. So we're almost at 90 kids right now, all wanting to play, all wanting to dress out. And again, this is kind of where I think James David might be helpful. What's changed in the football program, in the excitement, in the desire to participate at Clinton High School that's motivated 90 kids when we had, 30, 22, 28? We didn't have a lot. Maybe more came out and they did not get to dress. But what's changed outside?
Well, I think that Oak Ridge Clinton games, with them going as far as they did in the playoffs last year, probably has enticed a lot of kids to want to be part of something tradition-wise that they can remember for a lifetime. And I think also what plays in a factor is Jason Hammock knows those kids inside and out. And he's a very caring person. He listens to the players, and he tries to direct them, mentor them. And I think that they respect him. And I think that that's one of the other draws that the kids are coming out.
That's cool. Coach Keith was a huge advocate for the kids, and you know what I mean. He wanted well and did well for them. But we didn't have 90 kids come out. That's why I didn't think just a changing of the guard coaching would do that. But you know what? That makes perfect sense. That Oak Ridge game that's a lifetime game. That's something those kids are going to remember to the day they put them in the ground. You know what I mean?
Well, I can see it vividly that night when we beat Oak Ridge, there was cheerleaders, there were football players, there were student bodies, there were fans that was in the stadium that came out on that field just hugging, people crying, people emotional from that win. And, when we won that night, it's like, man, that 100-pound monkey is off our back.
Can we do it again?
It will be tough. It will be a tough.
Well, tell me, you watched us play, and be brutally honest. When you sat and watched the Dragons, I don't want to say that. I don't want to sound condescending, but one of the reasons we stayed in it is because Cleveland made so many mistakes.
Absolutely.
And that kept us in it. And then we couldn't pull the trigger a couple times. If we'd have scored that first time after they scored,
we were about 6 inches away.
Yeah.
And of course, Jason had run out on the field like we had scored, and they had actually gave him a penalty that moved it back up to the 16-yard line.
He thought we scored.
And
so
he was going out to congratulate the player for scoring, because from where we're at, it looked like that they crossed the line, but where they marked it, they didn't. And then along with that came that penalty.
And that backed us up. If we'd have got that, like I said, be honest. What do you think? Where do we need work? Where are we good? What do you think? You saw it from your perspective.
From my perspective, I think that we've got to get away from conservative call playing. I think that we've got to throw in some reverses. We got to throw in some different options.
Option would be good.
Yeah,
the option play. I love that.
Option. Yeah. And
naked bootleg, I love it.
Of course, Jason knows the plays and the players more than any of us.
Yeah.
And for the most part, I think that they played a great ball game. But we have just got to, when we have those scoring opportunities, we got to punch it in. We just got to. If we're going to stay in and be competitive with some of our opponents this year, that's the biggest thing that I see that needs.
Finish it up. Finish it up. Get it done. It's heartbreaking to get on the 6-yard line and end up not scoring, and that momentum changed at that moment. You could hear it. You could feel it. You know what I mean? Even sitting at the house listening to it, it's like, And I was really confused, too, about the penalty at first. I was like, what? Because they penalized him for being out on the field, not being there, not knowing that it was almost a touchdown. Well, Walton them thought it was a touchdown too. He's in. No, he's not. Wait, So that took the wind out of the sails, and I don't know. I hope our kids will get disciplined enough to deal with that kind of thing and shrug it off and go to the next play, run it in.
And of course, the kids will have to learn the adversity of the game that you got to pick up and go to the next play.
Yeah, you can't remember the last play.
Yeah, you just I could see the disappointment that game for the kids. I think that they wanted it. The mentality was there. That they got to keep on pressing on through the year because it's early in the season. And what I see of the schedule this year about our district games, Campbell County's down. That should be a win for us. I think we're out talented. Obviously, Oak Ridge is a questionable game. Lenore City could go either way. If we could win that and win Carnes, we're in the playoffs.
So Campbell County,
Oak Ridge, Lenore City, and Carnes.
That's what it's going to take.
Carnes beat Hardin Valley the other night. Lenore City won. Campbell County got smashed 41-0 from Halls.
Yeah.
Oak Ridge lost. So two of the opponents in our district lost on first week.
Okay.
2-1.
So we're still starting at ground zero pretty much to get to the playoffs.
Absolutely.
That's exciting.
And when you get into the playoffs,
it's a whole new schedule, whole new year.
It's a whole new schedule, and they get better.
Yeah.
And that's what Clinton did last year.
Yeah.
They had some tough games through the season, and we lost them, but the improvement that the team made from the time that the season ended and when they got into the playoffs, they became a better team when they got in the playoffs.
Did you have you had an opportunity to discuss the past problems that at Clinton High School with ineligible player or grades or whatever with Jason?
No, I've not. And,
purposely?
I don't want to focus on the past. I want to look forward this year. And that's what I've kind of kept the focuses on, because I don't think our team needs any more negativity. So that's the reason.
If we look back, we're just going to look at the Oak Ridge game.
Exactly.
That's what we're
That's the only thing that's looking back. Exactly. But, and I know that kind of lingers over with the program, but we're going to get through it. We'll manage it. And I think it starts with Robbie Harrell, our new principal. And I had to sit down with Robbie the other night. Of course, we discussed the football alumni night that's going to be held September the 6th at Clinton Dragons Stadiums for the classes of 1950 all the way up to 99 for that first game. And then part 2 will be the class of 2000 all the way to current players of the Clinton Dragons. And that will be the Lenore City game, which would be October the 11th.
Okay.
So
we need to make sure we get that information out, get as many people in as we can.
Well, and if you're a former football player during that era, all you have to do is RSVP Josh Reed, the new athletic director for Clinton. You get 2 tickets to get into that game that night.
There you go. Bing. That's cool.
Yes.
All former players get in.
Yes. Which, you know, and that was my wish to Robbie. I said, Robbie, there's one thing that I wish from last year that would have happened is that we made a bigger deal out of the 100 years of Clinton football history.
Yeah, we didn't.
I said, let's make that happen if we can. He said, well, we'll do it this year.
Boom.
And
101 years.
Yeah, well, we can still celebrate it. So.
Sure, absolutely we can, and
of
we
course,
will.
Jerry Shattuck and Josh Reed and Robbie Harrell, myself, is trying to get this set up that night. And, of course, there will be a hospitality tent down in the end zone.
I love it.
With
hospitality?
With hospitality. So I've got people saying, hey, that reached out to me on Facebook saying, hey, you know, we're going to get to the game early. We're going to be tailgating. Is that all right if we get there early?
Yeah.
I said, the earlier the better. You know, I might even just go down at 2 o'clock and start the sports talk program.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. So.
I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to all of it. Summer just flew by, it seems like, you know, and here we are already. It's football season, but it's, I don't know, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it for a number of reasons with the Vols and Trey and the Dragons and James David in the booth and playing basketball. It's just like I'm neck deep in it, you know. I love it, every minute of it. So,
well, me and Amberly have discussed about possibly taking Jace to see the band do the ball walk. He really is enticed to the bands, either high school.
And if
college.
you do, find me. We're going to be, we're in G16 and G17. I think that's the parking garage, actually. And so we'll be right down, boom, right in front of the stadium. I mean, I'll be, you won't miss me if you come down there.
I think my parking spot will be in G10. That is.
Shut up! Where'd you get that?
Oh, just a friend.
But, Vicky?
No.
Where'd you get G10 parking passes, dude?
From a contact of mine.
Oh,
so.
my.
But anyway.
Do you know how much I had to pay for 2 parking spaces? More than a Florida ticket. More than a Florida ticket.
Have you priced the Tennessee, Alabama tickets on?
I've had a bunch of, I've seen
different ticket sites, Ticketmaster, StubHub. They're all going for $1,500.
Okay, I didn't pay that much.
They're going for $1,500 for the right now as you speak. So
I just decided I didn't care. I mean, I do care about the money, and I don't have, you know, limitless money. But for this first game, my mom and dad want to go, taking Destiny and Toby, Tracy's children, Demi, and taking her grandkid. I'm taking everybody. Taking everybody attached to my family that wants to go.
What's up, cuz?
There you go. Hey, you almost got a ticket. You almost. I had an extra ticket. I had, you know, I always get odd number of tickets. You know that.
Well, if I go, I got to take Jason. Everybody said three.
I don't have
Three's
3.
hard to go. My wife won't go down there because she works at Children's Hospital. She said, I
Get
have to
enough
fight the traffic every day coming out of work at Children's Hospital. I don't want to go Saturday and fight the traffic.
I get it. I do. I get it. I don't like the traffic either, but it's one of those things. I think I was talking about this the other day. It's one of those things you just, it's it. I was talking about it with Matt Monday. It's when you go to UT football games, don't get in a hurry. You know, just take your patience when you leave because you're going to need it because you're going to set. It takes about an hour to get out of there. Easy. If you get out in an hour, you've done good. Where we park there at Copper Cellar, you know, I could drive to the top of the parking lot. I could turn right and go immediately out, take my second left, and you could get out pretty quick. But you still set for an hour. Okay. You're doing good if you get out in an hour. Less than an hour, you're doing good. So, yeah, that's going to be a lot of traffic. But like I said, shortfall me falling over dead or something happening, I can't get there. I'm going to be there. Trey is supposed to get a new saxophone. He wanted a new saxophone for opening game day.
So has he started shining it up?
I don't know. He hasn't got it yet. Well, if he has, he hasn't collected my part that I told him I'd give him. I told him I would buy part of it for him.
What kind of what is the ingredient that they use to shine the trombones and?
I've got some of it. It's called the stuff that I use is Weanol. Yeah, Weanol. Yeah, that's. I don't know if Trey. I don't know if that's what Trey uses.
That was imported from Germany. I had bought a couple cases myself at one time.
Did you buy them or did I give them to you?
Well, you gave me some, but before I even came to work for you in the station, I'd actually came across one of the distributors out in Vegas at the World of Concrete, and he showed me. He said, "Hey,
watch this. Yeah,
give me a penny." He said, "I'll make your penny brand new."
Yep.
And I was like, "That's amazing."
I sold it. We used to sell it on television
for jewelry.
Yeah, for jewelry and watches. Yeah, they clean the watches.
Stuff's amazing.
It is amazing.
But you can't get it.
I've got cases of it.
Okay.
Upstairs, if you want some.
Okay.
I hope it may not be good. It's been up there for.
Oh, it's still good. You can use it.
I've got some at home too.
Whatever that ingredient is, it's amazing.
If I gave you some already.
I know you did. I've got some at the house.
I was gonna say
from what you've given me.
Okay,
but
if you need more, I'll get you more.
Well, when I run out, I'll definitely.
It's good stuff. If you guys need any kind of metal cleaned, but I'd say that's probably that or something very similar is what they use. But he wanted. He rents his saxophone right now because they're expensive, so he rents it, and he wanted a new one to march with. And he asked me, he said, do you mind if I keep the rental so that I can practice with it and practice march with it, and I only want to use my new one on game days? I was like, no, I don't care. That's fine if that's what you want to do. I help him what I can. But we're going to get a brand new one. Let me tell you something. When I was in school, I played drums all my life in band. And then my junior and senior year, I took beginner band along with regular marching band, and I took beginner band and to play trumpet. I wanted to learn to play trumpet, which I kind of learned to play trumpet, not really, but I just the expense of instruments. I remember back then a trumpet was $200. And that was a lot of money. I didn't buy one. I used one that the school provided. You could use it. Saxophones, $200-300. That's not the case today. And Trey wants a good one. He's going to get it's kind of a lower mid-range, but it still costs more than a used car. In some cases, they're expensive, but I feel like he's put in the time, he's put in the work, and I'll help him what I can to get one and cheer when he marches with it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's
switch gears.
Switch gears. We've got Willow Ridge Garden Center, the friendly garden guy, Greg.
Where's he at?
Greg's over there at the Merle side. He's recording his commercials.
Yeah, game come over
today. But we'd like to bring him up on Ask Your Neighbor.
Let's do that. We need to get him up here.
We'll do a briefing if he's got time. All right.
One day, the church.
But we'd like to go ahead and schedule him up for Ask Your Neighbor for a full.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and get him scheduled. And if he wants to come over here right quick, if not, we'll get him scheduled either way. But in the meantime, I'm still waiting on somebody.
One last time, we're going to
strengths of the Republican platform challenging the election. I'm waiting on that. We've been talking this whole time. Nobody's called. And I'd love to hear from you guys what your thoughts on football, what we're doing here. Anything you guys want to call in. My whole point is, join the conversation.
Yeah, he's over there recording, but
we'll get
you hitting on football, I encourage and I'm very open to listen to our listeners of who you would like for us to bring on as guests for our Tuesday, our OEB Law Tuesday night sports talk.
Did you have Larry on last year?
We had Larry Severs. We had former Vol Chris Wampler. We had the Energy Man, Sterling Hinton. He was on last year,
and he is always up.
We had Alan Seaver's son. We had we had a good lineup last year. And
I was in a bank in Knoxville 5 or 6 years ago, right? I'm in doing a loan. It was my houseboat, right? And I hear, "Hello, everybody!" I mean, it was a whole bank just stopped.
That had to be Sterling.
Yeah, when he comes in, man, he owns the room, don't he? I love it. He's so friendly. I mean, he stuck his head in. He's like, "Hey, Ron, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm borrowing some money."
Well, I tell you what, back in the day, back in 86, 87, I worked for a company called Genesco Incorporated out of Nashville, Tennessee. They owned a lot of the shoe stores in the Knoxville market. I worked at Easttown Mall, and when I was manager, I had all the football players that would come in and shop at my store, and we'd hook them up with, the shoes, the patent leather Playboy, and they would be wearing those on game day.
I love it.
I had anybody, but Sterling, he was a heck of a customer.
Really?
He would be coming buying 8 pairs. I was like, "Man, you're worse than a woman."
I wonder how many pair of shoes he has now.
He's always in the orange and white tennis shoes whenever I see him.
That's
so
true.
That might be the only pair he has.
Or maybe he's got multiple pair of those shoes.
Yeah, but they have done him well.
Evidently, so that's good. We look forward to it, all your guests. And again, guys, if you have people you'd like for Jasper to try and get on, let him know. Just call us up here or email, text, or whatever you can do. We'll do our best to get those folks on. I know your trivia question last night. Granddad, dad, and son.
There's 4 family members that were team captains for the Clinton Dragons. One's dad, 3 sons.
Yeah, and that was Jerry Shattuck.
Jerry Shattuck, and
Andy.
It was Deaver, Andy, and
God, the church.